Hello Scouts, it's Mr. Kugler and we're out on the trail again, or around the fire pit, but making believe we're on the trail. And we're going to work on some backpacking baking. And there are some different ovens that are out there to carry when you're backpacking. But what I want to show you today is one that you can make at home. And it's a number 10 can. And what I did before using this number 10 can was I put it on the gas grill with the lid down, and I just let it go on high for 15-20 minutes. And I wanted to bake off any smells or if there's anything on this that I had to worry about. I have some metal. This is very similar to those the screen. It's a pulled aluminum screen, so it's a little on the lighter side. And then I have some number 12 screws that are in here that act as legs or supports to support the grate, this grate. And then I have a little replacement thermometer to help give me some temperature readings on the oven. And to be able to keep the heat in, I'm just going to have a square of aluminum foil that I'm going to take and simply put over the top. Wherever we have that thermometer, we'll look to get that exposed so we can keep an eye on the temperature. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it on top of this just simple single burner backpacking stove and a butane tank. Now, certainly read and understand the instructions for any of the stoves that you use and use them per the manufacturer's specifications and instructions. We're going to use this one here. We're going to put it on a stable ground that's solid, and we're going to situate our oven right on top there. I'll try to do it so at least one of the cameras can get the thermometer there. We'll take our lid off for now. And some of the things that we need to worry about is when we're reaching in there, we're going to be using, this is a used can that came from actually some canned chicken. And notice I'm going to grab in the middle like this. I don't want to, if I grab like this, I could fit it in there and it works well, but if I come across and grab this way, I'm more centered in the oven and I can get it in and out. We're going to use this, which was for canned chicken. We're going to use this can. We have a camping spoon. This is a tablespoon. That's going to be important when we get ready to use, we're going to do a cinnamon coffee cake. This is a packet of cinnamon coffee cake mix. It's made to go in a mug. We're going to do it today in this tin can. I've got some gloves so I can be safe. And one of the other things is to make sure it doesn't stick in this can. I've got a quart bag and I put some vegetable oil that has saturated a paper towel. I'm going to use that to lubricate or treat the inside of this can before I mix it up together. All right, so let's get started mixing. This cinnamon coffee cake calls for 3 tablespoons of water to be added. And that's what's so perfect about this, is that it doesn't require eggs or oil or anything else in it. You just add water. If you have milk, you can, it says you could substitute milk, but certainly on the trail, water is going to be the way to go. So this is a Duncan Hines mix, and we'll get going mixing this up. So I'm going to start with, just because I'm handling that oil, I have some of these gloves, and I love taking these gloves with me backpacking too, when washing hands is especially challenging. Move my gloves out of the way. Come in, and I'm just going to take and wipe down the sides and the bottom. This is a great way with the vegetable oil soaked paper towel here. Great way so you don't have to carry that can of spray oil, the non-stick spray. Some of the challenges with that non-stick spray is that if that cap comes off, and that'll make a mess in your backpack. Not to mention it's quite a bit of material that you'll never use that's unnecessary weight when you're backpacking. So it's got a little tear spot here. We're gonna do this. One of the tricks is to leave it attached so you don't have the issue of that little tab falling on the ground. lumps. I've got it all emptied in there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my 3 tablespoons of water. And the instructions say to just stir it together till it's fully incorporated. Try to get out those lumps. I want to work it in the corners there, especially in this can because it's got some ridges in it in the bottom. So I want to reach in those ridges. If I see that it's got some lumps in there, I'll just mush it to the side a little bit. And this actually has some flavor chips in there that would make you think it has lumps in there. All right. Now, from the looks of this looks like it would actually fit in a, I can use the packet to hold my spoon in. Looks like it would fit in a tuna fish can pretty easily, 1 packet of this. So we're going to take and we're going to, before we start our oven, we're going to take and put that right in our oven, right in the center. While it's cool, put the lid on my oven. So what I'm going to do is I'll regulate that heat. I want to have it right around 350, just like I would in a normal baking oven. So we'll keep an eye on that and see how it goes. Just about 2 minutes in, we're already up to 200 degrees in our little makeshift oven. We're at 325, so I've turned it down a little bit more. One of the key things is you'll notice that those screws that are supporting that grate are about 2 inches up from the bottom of the can. And what that is doing is it's creating an airspace between the direct heat coming from the burner on the bottom of the can and the underneath of the can, which contains the cake mix. So we'll see how that goes. And then the lid or the foil creates some reflective, holds the heat in and gives it that oven effect. Leveled right out at 325 and it's working pretty well. I took a peek in there, the top of the cake is starting to form. It's important to watch the temperature and ensure that it stays at that correct temperature. Having the batter a little thinner and not so deep or thick or in the can will help it fluff up and cook more evenly. So we're about 15 minutes in. I could tell from the smell of this, and be perfectly honest, I have peeked to be able to check and make sure it was done. And maybe not something you'd find in the local bakery, but certainly a treat when you're camping. So why don't we do this? I'm going to carefully with my gloves remove our oven from the top here, come in and shut off our tank, our fuel supply from our tank to our burner, so that we're being safe. And I will take and remove this foil from the top and come in. And now it is a little maybe crispy on the outside there, and I'm sure the bottom has a little bit of burnt, but it's cooked all the way through. And oh boy, does it smell good. That cinnamon flavor is just permeating through. We'll try to keep it elevated here a little bit, but certainly a treat when you're camping. This took about 15 minutes to be able to bake this. There are methods that you can use where you can use one of your cook pots, and maybe we'll do another episode on that. This is referred to as a dry baking, where there's no moisture or heat in there. And I honestly get a little worried when I'm cooking with my good cook pots that I'm going to damage those. Again, make sure you have a pot that does, or a can that does not have a lining on the inside, any type of coating. As a precaution, put it on a gas grill with parental supervision and bake it off for a good 15-20 minutes on high heat. We've got the replacement thermometer, and we use this simple Duncan Hines made to use in a microwave in a mug type of a treat of cinnamon, a little cinnamon roll, and in 15 minutes we had it baked here, and we've got something warm, something to eat on a nice backpacking trip that didn't involve a lot of weight nor a lot of time, and the fact that you just add water is just the icing on the cake. Get out there, have some fun, experiment with new different types of cooking techniques and different types of foods when you're camping, and have fun with your patrol, fully enjoying your camping and your backpacking experience.